No.
I'm sorry, Peter, man. I thought you want to see this. Does that chick look like Anne?
God, look, I can.
I guess.
Does he say something? Don't they always
Kinda.
say like, "Do you?" I get the sense that she's cheating on me. Like, yeah, I can say
Yeah.
me
I know what
too,
you
or something
mean,
like
man.
that. I know what you mean.
She just kind of looks like one of those chicks that just. Ah, man, I'm sorry. I'm talking out of my ass, man.
That movie's good. I need to rewatch it.
I listen to it like once a month. It's my favorite.
I know it's been 6 months or so I got to go back to it.
Yep. On this week's sode, unions are taking over the game industry, GTAs of the world are dying, and the only games people are playing are the
Boop, 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 boop.
Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it. I can see you doing this.
Okay, fine. I won't.
This week's sode, unions are taking over the game industry, the GTAs of the world are dying, and the only games people are playing are at least 6 years old. Then Peterson gives us a rundown of 33 Immortals and picks his bloody, gory Dice of Destiny game. You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
And this is Peterson.
And you won't get me.
I was trying
bastard.
to actively change the words while JD was reading them, but he was too fast.
out reading the teleprompter.
I know, and I was wait, fine. Real quick, can you see this right here?
What is
a mosquito bite?
That is not,
dude. Yes, that's what all my kids do. So here's what happened. I was at Lily's soccer practice because I'm her coach, and I'm sitting there, and one of the kids goes, "Hey, coach, there's a mosquito on your forehead," and I was like, swatted away. I was like, "What the heck?" I didn't notice it. Get home. Big old goose egg of like a mosquito bite on my forehead.
Yeah, it's like the size of a golf ball. If you guys aren't watching on YouTube,
it's crazy, right? Can you see that?
You're disgusting.
Mosquito bite. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Well, I can't. And I have that like mosquito bite sucker thingy. I'm not gonna do that on my forehead. It's gonna turn purple.
Gotta have east, north, south, and west Nile disease in that fucking thing.
Oh, the first mosquito I've seen this spring got me right here, forehead. It's a little bastard.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You go to doctor. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right. This week's news is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies. You go to cravecookies.com and check it out. It is a cookie shop. I know. Shocker. And they rotate their menu every Friday. There's a new batch of cookies on the menu just for you. And we tell you those cookies on Tuesday. That's our reward to you guys for doing nothing. Just download the podcast.
Just like being here. Just for being here.
Just for being you. Because you're great. And we love you.
Mm-hmm.
So, next week's menu. The last week of the carrot cake. Guys, if you haven't had this one, even if you're slightly curious, if you're carrot curious, you should check out this cookie because it is awesome. And it's the last week of the month. Have it.
I haven't had it yet, and I'm like, I haven't even been down south, and we need to get another one up here by me again. Another crave cookie.
Yeah. It's too bad that you have to drive so far. Next up, the Rockstar is back. I know that's a lot of people's favorite. It's got pretzels.
It's one of my tops.
It's got a ton of crap in it.
I love it.
The Cinnamoroll Pop Tart, the Biscoff Brownie, and the Cup of Dirt.
Oh, does it have gummy worm on it?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And speaking of cups, we also at Crave Draper and Midvale, I don't know which other ones locations. By Friday, we should have them everywhere. But the Dubai strawberry chocolate cups that everyone has been seeing on TikTok, which I don't have TikTok, so I don't see stuff like this. But apparently,
I've seen videos of it.
Why is this such an obsession? I made one. And I took it home on Sunday, and I gave it to Jenna. I was like, "You want this, guys? There is a full cup of chocolate ganache in this thing. A full
in the cup? Like there's
in
a
the
cup
cup.
of chocolate ganache
It's like a
in the
cup
cup
of
of
strawberries.
strawberries.
It's like a half pound of strawberries and a cup of chocolate ganache.
Yeah.
And then some pistachio cream and some I don't know, it's coffee dough. I don't know. It's some.
How was it?
Well, I don't know, because I turned to look at Jenna and it was gone. She just fucking housed this thing.
She threw the fork to the side, tipped it into her mouth, and
yeah, dude, just ate it like a horse.
She shot it like an alcoholic drinks a beer on a challenge.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
She just punctured the bottom of the cup and she just shotgunned it.
Yeah.
So I guess
she
it's
liked
good.
it.
Yeah, I think she liked it. I tried one strawberry and then it was gone.
Oh man.
So I guess
that sounds good though. That sounds good.
I mean,
want to try it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit, but you can get them at Crave if they're such a huge deal. We have people come. I had a lady come in today. She looked like haggard because she was like, "Do you guys have the strawberry cup?" I was like, "Yes, we do." And she looked so relieved, like maybe a parent looking for a special rare toy the week before Christmas walks into a toy shop and is like, "Do you have the Turbo Man action figure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, she's like, "I was out at Harriman. I was at these other locations." I was like, "What is it about this thing? What are people desperate to get this?"
Maybe you just some people just, you know how you mentioned that one sandwich place, and now I couldn't stop thinking about it for 3 weeks straight. It's like that. Maybe they just I need it, and they can't get their mind off of it. It's so close yet so far.
So that's it. You don't have to go that far. You just have to go to a Crave Cookies. You can get this thing. It's a limited time only, so get in there now because I'm not making this for more than a month. It's a pain in my ass.
Is it? Yeah, I was gonna ask you if it's a pain to make.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll make it. I'll make it for a couple weeks. You guys come get it, and then we're done. We're moving on. So get in there. Get there now. Get your cookie on. Get your strawberry Dubai cup on. Video game workers have officially launched an industry-wide union with the Communication Workers of America. CWA is the biggest union company or whatever union in the country, right?
One of them. I don't know the union sizes, but they're not a small union.
This will be the United Video Game Workers CWA Local 9433.
Yep.
Very official. And from the I just have a couple. I wrote down some a lot of quotes from this one that I wanted to read directly instead of summing up because I think they put it better than I could. And so and quite frankly, I want you to know that these are not my words, though they may sound like things that Peterson and I have been saying on the podcast for the past 5 years. Quote, "Over the past 2 years, video game studios have laid off unprecedented numbers of game workers. Many of these same companies are posting record profits and paying out massive amounts to their executives and shareholders. Whether we're discarded by our employers and left to fend for ourselves, or mournful survivors expected to fill in the absence of our lost colleagues, we are all affected. This has taken a huge toll on our mental health, our communities, and the quality of the games we make." Hopefully that came across as underlined as I could make it. "In an industry already plagued by burnout, overwork, precarious immigration status, and wage suppression, we can't afford to stay silent any longer."
Yeah, I mean, look,
oh my God.
Again, this is the ball has rolled. The ball has started its roll, and this is really where it picks up steam. Because we've had a few small shops unionizing. I'm talking small. I'm talking a couple dozen people in a small group, in Toronto or something. You know what I mean? And now this is the big one. This is the big one that we have been theorizing for the whole time we've done this podcast. This is it happening. And look, Look, professionally, I'm not a huge fan of unions. I have a lot of issues with them. But this is one where I'm like, I get it. It makes sense. I get it. And honestly, it's
You guys made
deserved.
an HR dude at Boeing pro-union. That's how bad the video game industry has been fucking up for the last couple of years.
Like, what else? I mean, what else can they do at this? You know what I mean? Like, this is the route they have to take.
They've been pushed into a corner for sure.
And,
and every opportunity they have had, they've given game company executives to do the right thing. They have done the exact opposite of that.
oh yeah. And this last couple years is the straw that's broken the camel's back. Like, these rampant layoffs. And here's the thing. Well, let me be clear. Union does not mean you cannot be laid off. The people will still be laid off under the union. However, they will have better it will be a better process, and probably that's what they'll negotiate, because what'll happen is they will negotiate something like a 60-day layoff notice. Rather than you show up to work, the CEO gets you on a phone call, gets everyone on a Zoom call, and says, sorry guys, you're all gone. If you're on this call, you're gone.
You're
And
lucky if
pack
you
your
get a
stuff and you're
sorry.
out. And so instead, you can get a 60-day notice, which means you've got 60 days to find another job. Also, they will negotiate things like your severance packages when you do get laid off. So it doesn't eliminate the existence of layoffs, but it makes them much more painful for the company, which is what they should be. Layoffs should not be an easy decision. Layoffs should be the hardest decision a company makes.
They've been like the knee-jerk. When you say easiest, it does seem like the one thing all game companies are doing. They're just like, yeah, let's just do layoffs. It's like it's a trendy thing to do.
Yes.
And it's great because it puts pressure on your current employees that you keep around to work harder for less. It's a win-win for them. So
layoffs should hurt any company, and the unions will make sure that happens.
But now shareholders reward layoffs. Like, they're like, good job, because there's a complete disconnect from reality, and shareholders don't know the first thing about business. They're just idiots gambling.
They just want the
so a bunch of degenerate gamblers are controlling how companies are run in 2025 across the country. Why are things so good here in America? I just can't piece it together. You kind of touched on this already, but a list of the demands that the CWA Local 9433 has listed includes sustainable growth instead of short-term boom and bust hiring cycles. Good luck getting games studios to adjust to that. Advance notice before layoffs, something you touched on. Paid time off following layoffs. I don't know if that's for the people that were laid off and the people who were not laid off, but either way, fuck yeah. Improved severance pay, extended health insurance coverage for laid off workers. So I love that their first thing's like, hey, don't keep laying us off so much. But because we know you can't fucking help yourselves, here are 5 other caveats anytime you do lay off unionized workers.
It's not the cheap option anymore, because laying somebody off is going to be expensive for the company. They need to understand that. And I'm okay with that, because that does protect the workers, right? You need the company to think twice before they issue a mandate to lay off. So all these are good. All of these are goodness.
And the last thing I want to read it just tickled me, because I find myself a lot of days, especially covering the video game industry, but just in general, being like so disheartened with the people who are in control of business, politics, government. Everything in this country seems to be run by like know-nothings, like absolute degenerate moron scum.
Yep.
At every echelon of business and everything else. So it was a bit of a relief to read this from the CWA president, Claude Cummings Jr. Now, this is not the president of the union. This is the president of CWA, like the Communication Workers of America. The whole fucking thing.
The head of the union.
That we can't reasonably expect he understands the nuances of the video game industry to the extent that like someone who's in the industry, or like you and I, obsessively covering the industry. And yet this is what he had to say. This is a direct quote from Claude Cummings Jr. The formation of the United Video Game Workers, CWA, is an exciting next step in our union's work to help video game workers build power in their industry. As video game studios have consolidated, The workers whose creativity, dedication, and skill bring the games to life have become more an afterthought. They are subject to endless cycles of layoffs and rehiring as corporate executives pursue short-term profits at the expense of a sustainable future.
Yeah.
Just like the smallest modicum of understanding of this industry, and it's coming from a union president. I'll take it. I guess.
A union for
Nobody else
he's
gets
not
it.
like just a video game union president either. Like this is just a guy, but
who just
he's
briefly glances at the industry. He's like, oh, so these are the clear problems.
and look, I don't want to belabor this point because this is not the point of our podcast. But I will say, covering the video game industry has and seeing like the trends of how corporations are run, especially when they're chasing this short-term gains. There's a lot of correlations with the way Tweedledee and Tweedledum are currently running our country. Think about it. Think about what we talk about on this show and think about what's been going on. They're running it like they're trying to get quarterly profits up in some
it's like
company.
They're trying to get weekly profits up. Like, what are you
it's
fucking doing?
I'm telling you. Anyway,
like, let's goose the economy for like one day and then pat ourselves on the back.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Oh, shit, it didn't work.
No long-term thought at all. And that's what you get from a CEO.
Do we joke all the time on this podcast that like, oh, well, you know, we're not going to be here in 5-10 years. Like the few of us that survive the blasts or the disease or the bioengineered superbugs, we're all going to be cooking rats over a trash can fire. Well, these guys out there are living it. Like they're like living that like not a joke. They're like, dude, why not just go fucking nuts? We got like 5 years, dude. We got 1,500 days left. Like, let's rage. Rome is burning. Get the fucking s'mores out.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's already on fire. Let's do what we can. Let's make some s'mores while we're at it.
Isn't it so warm right now?
Yeah.
Saber Interactive CEO says expensive games need to die if this industry is going to survive. My headline was more eloquent than what he said. Yeah. That's not his quote. That's mine.
Yeah.
It's a summation, but it's a better, more succinct and eloquent way to say it.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
To pat yourself on the back for that.
Dude, I like that you appreciated it and you congratulated my back patting.
Yeah.
It was a twofer because I thought my back patting was pretty good too.
You know, here's the thing. JD used to write these articles, so he does have some experience writing, and sometimes he does a better job than the guys actually writing them. We'll just say
that's all I can say. And Peterson, for his part, is really good at congratulating me.
Yeah, that's really what I'm here for.
Well done. Thanks, bro.
If there's one thing JD loves, we all know it's a little bit of validation every now and then. Like,
feed it to me.
And look, I'm okay giving it to him. I'm okay with that.
I'm a starving man in a desert. Saber Interactive CEO, the co-founder, Matthew Karch. Karch? K-A-R-C-H. Karch?
Karch. We're right there.
We're close. He was talking about the Saints Row team. They worked on the most recent Saints Row reboot, which I believe was nominated for a Blursty for being such a shitty game. Possibly worst remake or sequel.
Yeah, it was rough. They were the ones that had like the models in them were so hilariously bad. Like we would just watch videos of them and laugh.
The game was terrible. It wasn't what Saints Row fans wanted. It wasn't what non-Saints Row fans wanted. Nobody wanted it. Nobody asked for it. Yeah. It was made by a team that was under Embracer Group back when Embracer Group had a few subsidiaries. And Saber Interactive, if you guys didn't know, was another subsidiary of Embracer Group. So that's where this guy's coming from. It was like my cousin or whatever, the cousin company subsidiary. So he kind of had a little bit of insight into what was going on. And these are some quotes from Matthew Karch, which I thought were pretty, I don't know, they were pretty telling, and I liked what he had to say. He was talking about the studio, and he said they were so expensive for what they were. They didn't know what they were building. They didn't have any real direction. It couldn't last. And so who's going to fund them for the next game after that disaster? It would be nice in an ideal world. He's talking about how they were all laid off. It would be nice in an ideal world for everyone to have a job, but games with 9-figure budgets are making 8 figures in revenue, and that's dooming a lot of developers. That's the crux of it right there, is that I don't know how game studios, especially studios that, like larger ones, like Embracer Group, which is hardly a game studio as much as just like a holding company.
Mm-hmm.
But this idea that the more money we spend on a game, the better it's going to be, is fucking ludicrous. I don't know where they got that in their mind. I mean, you can apply this to anything, that like bloated budgets for any product are not a good sign. The products, whether it's movies, whether it's a TV series, whether it's a car, like you can't just keep throwing money at it and expect it's going to be better the more money you spend at it. But that's been kind of the modus operandi of a lot of these game developers. And then the other quote he says was, the days of throwing money at games other than maybe the GTAs of the world, it's over. This business needs to mature. If it doesn't, the whole business is in trouble. Unfortunately, that means more layoffs. So he's saying as this adjustment happens, it's going to be fucking painful, because that he's like, we're going to have to realize that everyone's bloated, and everyone that's trying to make these big budget games probably can still make them, but they need to trim the budget a lot, and that means layoffs.
Well, they were not treating these like you said 9-figure budgets like the risk that they were.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're taking a giant risk when you take on a project that big, but they weren't viewing it like that. They were viewing it like, this game's going to be huge because we're spending a lot of money on it. A lot of that's marketing. Like, we're putting a lot of this out there and the game's going to make us a ton of money. They weren't viewing it as a risk. And now that they took that risk and it did not pay off over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
All of these guys, this is what, 4th week in a row or something, where we've got some sort of CEO coming out and saying this industry is in trouble because we don't know what we're doing. And we have historically not treated this like any other business.
Yeah.
That you would treat it like. We've just treated it like a cash cow. They thought everything was a cash cow.
Everything can be Fortnite if we spend enough on it, without realizing that Fortnite was kind of a dirt cheap, it was just like a small project.
Fortnite was a fluke. It was a fluke, you guys. The creator of the game was on our podcast the day it came out.
That's
day
how
Fortnite
big of
Battle
a fluke
Royale
it was.
came out, they didn't know. They didn't know it was going to be that big.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good. I think articles like this are good, that they're realizing the risks that they've been taking and realizing they need to actually create a good product now.
So here's
you can't
what's crazy.
Just spend $400-500 million on a game and expect it to be good.
We are in a very strange era of video games where there are still currently industry veterans, especially in like Nintendo, for example, of people that worked on some of the original home console video games. Like, we're talking the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo,
Sega stuff,
old PC titles, things like that. Like Gabe Newell, for example, the head of Steam. He was cut his teeth at Microsoft in the early 90s. We still have these people, but they're thinning. They're fewer and fewer every day. And I think the reckoning that is coming for the industry after the last 2 years and hundreds of thousands of fucking layoffs and all of those bodies that did not come back to games. And we have this further reckoning that all these executives are hinting at. And like Matthew Karch knows his shit. I mean, he founded this Saber Interactive way back when. So he's not just like somebody that just like lucked into this. Like, he knows the industry. And I feel like there's something to be said about what's coming and what's going to happen to the rest of those game developers. How many veterans are even going to be left at the end of this? How many people who remember like this is how we used to make video games in the 90s and the early 2000s are even going to be left? Or is it all just going to be people that make the next 10 years of video games that are just like aping that behavior? They're like, yeah, well, this is how the old guys used to do it. I've only been doing this for a year. My most senior engineer has been doing this for a year and a half because everyone else is gone. Like, I feel like it's just like this is going to be this great wall of experience lost and knowledge lost because of this maturing of the industry as they figure out between the unions and these budgets that are too bloated. Whatever shakes out, I don't think is going to have a lot of like the people who made all the games that we grew up loving.
And part of me is like, ooh, that could be bad, but it could also be good. This could be fresh takes, but the big warning is don't just bring a bunch of NBA project managers into the industry to like manage it that way, because that's, I think, where we got all our issues to begin with. Let's put the creatives back into gaming, right? Yeah. And so, yeah,
I hope we can get them back. And maybe I'm off base, and maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion. And a lot of these people are going to be around because they love it. I just hope it survives. A new report claims that 2/3 of total PC playtime last year was on games that are at least 6 years old. What was I just saying?
Crazy.
No one wants these new bullshit games. Give us the oldies. This is new.
That is crazy.
We've talked about before on this podcast is an analytics firm, and this is their third annual industry report that was released at GDC last week, I believe. Claims that 67% of all hours spent playing PC games last year, 2024, was on games that are 6 years old or more. A couple examples: Counter-Strike 2 at 7%, League of Legends 6%, Roblox 6%, Dota 2, and Fortnite about 5%. I mean, yeah, Fortnite's old as shit now. People are still playing Fortnite. I mean, there is not a lot of market share when you have to compete with a decade's worth of games.
Well, and like
crazy.
We're talking about the addicts now. Like, these are the people who
every game I read right
stop
there
playing
was an addict game.
Yes, CS:GO. Like, I wouldn't even dare try to jump in right now because I would just get shot in the foot or something. Like, my foot is peeking through the door. They're done. Out,
by someone
dead.
Who knows exactly when a foot will come through and what like pixel part of the map that foot will appear on, and they aim right there.
CS:GO, okay, that's League of Legends. Dota 2, which is funny because I see Skylar jump on Dota 2 still regularly.
Yeah.
But Roblox and Fortnite, that's the kids. The kids are keeping those things alive and fresh, like they can't stop. And so, yeah, I mean, it's surprising a little bit, but also not that surprising because these are the games that people get absolutely hooked on.
So here is the trick. If you're a game developer and you want to make money on your new game, like you need to make money, you don't make a new game. You make a time machine. You go back in time 7 years and make a game.
That's where the market is. $3 or $4 billion is like working on how do we get back.
Yeah, dude. For that much money, I mean, for how much they spent on like Suicide Squad, you could probably build a time machine.
I'm
not a scientist. I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, look, I think it could be done.
How much can a time machine really cost?
Why can't it be done? Okay, tell me why that wouldn't work.
I don't know. I'll build a time machine and go back and check.
Look, I've been reading a little bit of sci-fi, so I think I'm back on board with time travel. So
I think it's possible. 25% of PC playtime was spent on games that are 2 to 5 years old. So 67% is 6 years or 6 years old or more, and then 25% is 2 to 5 years old. Only 8% of people playing PC games last year were playing games that came out last year.
And like, honestly, probably like 5% of that was people playing Marvel Rivals. Like, Let's be honest.
Free
That's
games.
the game.
Free games. Like
That's
that
the
is
game.
And this is not, I know we're just saying PC games, but guess what? On console, pretty similar. Playtime on 6+ year old games was sitting at 44% on PlayStation and 49% on Xbox. I imagine the splits are about the same, just minus, League of Legends, but Roblox, Counter-Strike, Fortnite, those types of things.
Yeah.
That it's the same deal on console. Consoles, slightly better for 2024 games. 15% of playtime was spent on games from 2024. So the report says that overall playtime hours are growing, but concentrated in AAA and at times cannibalistic. The battle for audience hours is fierce and near zero sum. What do you do with that information, dude? You are a game studio executive and things are just not looking great. And you're doing layoffs and it's not helping. And anytime, any like product you might have out in front of people that they can spend money on and you believe that it's a good product is minimum 18 to 24 months out. And then this report comes out and says that all that shit you're doing is near zero sum.
Dude, it feels like the best you can get at this point is that flash in the pan situation. Like you want to be Pal World and you want to be Helldivers.
Yeah.
You want to hit that quick flash, make a ton of cash right away, and then be out. Like, I think that's like your best bet at this point.
I'm telling you, dude, the only viable business strategy long-term for video games anymore in the near future, the next 2 to 5 years, is tiny little teams working on games that you can pump out in 8 to 16 months. Like you just need, I don't know, team of 5 to 10 people busting their humps on a game that you can, like Pal World, that you can get out the door and get into people's hands. And if it fails, you're not in it $900 million.
900 mil.
It costs you those people's salaries and and whatever software they're using, and that's it. And you just churn and burn, and you get out, and you take that same team. If their game didn't work out, you put them on the next thing. In fact, they should already have a game in the hopper that they're starting to work on as they're finishing up another one. And you go back to the 90s strategy of pumping out games like every fucking year that aren't super laborious, because a lot of games, fucking Pokemon Red and Blue was made by one goddamn dude. One fucking dude. Balatro, one dude. Stardew Valley, one dude. This is not something I'm proposing that's without precedent or is so outlandish and crazy. JD, what a stupid business strategy. This is honestly the only one that's feasible.
This seems like the most profitable option at this point. Or okay, take a small team, 10, 12 geniuses, pick up some DeLoreans, time machine. Okay.
Dude.
Look, Back to the Future has already done most of the science. You just have to Jimmy rig some of that together now on a DeLorean.
We're talking vacuum tubes. We're talking lights that light up in like a line.
The plutonium is a little bit of a problem, but we can figure that out.
Dude, just go comb the West Desert out here in Utah. You can definitely find uranium.
Yeah.
Which is close.
You'll find some.
They'll both make you sick by shredding your cells. It's fine.
No, and it will work. Trust me. 88 miles per hour. We already know that. Like
a lot of the stuff, like Peter said, this is already done for you.
Then
you go back in time and you invent Fortnite.
Yeah, you just take it from Donald Mustard and do Fortnite. There was something different.
You guys know where to find him on the day that Fortnite came out. You bust in the studio, you punch him in the stomach, you steal his game, and you're good. You are a billionaire.
He was sitting right here. His wife was whispering in his ear the whole time. Every time we asked him a question.
Don't say that. Don't get on a tangent about farts. Nope, don't let him talk about farts.
She's like, we have no comment about farts or any form of passing gas.
So yeah, I don't know what the solution is for these game developers that are trying to work on huge games, but I do know that the only way that anyone's going to make money when everyone's just playing old games, 6+ year old games, is not to spend a shit ton of money trying to be the one game that people play that year. It ain't gonna happen, guys.
500 mil is a risk. You need to weigh that as a risk.
Nope.
I'm sorry to inform you. Welcome to another company reset. Hope you've updated your resume. You've just been laid off.
Okay, so this isn't really a layoff as much as the layoff adjacent story, and I just wanted to hear the song.
Yep. Nope. I knew exactly where you were.
But no one was around to collect the Life is Strange Double Exposures Award for social impact because there were so many layoffs. This was an award that was given at the Game Developers Choice Awards, and it was a social impact award. And there were members from the team that worked on this game at that conference, but so many people had been laid off. So much of the company's structure had been gutted that no one even knew to go collect the fucking thing. No one was even there. This is what we're talking about. When we
get up on stage with the award, and they're like, I don't know there's nobody.
They take this shotgun approach to layoffs, and they're just going down a spreadsheet and just cutting, just like highlighting the people to cut without any real understanding of the structure and process that they're removing from the studio by deleting full people and their roles. And what were those people doing? They don't fucking know. They're just trying to goose the stock price.
Listen, the best way to do layoffs, you take a list of people, you put them in Excel, then you put to the left, you do the random number generator function in Excel, you change it a couple times, then you just pick the top 20 people that showed up and lay them off. Like the best way to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, our team has decided to reduce the workforce, and you send that email and you're set. What Peterson just described saved you guys so much time in actually trying to do your job well.
Yeah. No, don't actually think about it too hard. But yeah, this is hilarious.
This is bleak.
There's just like they're presenting to an empty room, giving awards to nobody.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can't even like share, this is something that would be disseminated in an email or a Slack message. And if we're missing the boat on these types of things, how the fuck is this studio going to make it? How are any of these studios that are doing mass, just blind layoffs, sort and delete layoffs? How are any of them going to function and make a video game? They can't even get people to go to a room at a conference
to accept an award.
To accept an award. And they're going to make a video game, which is a little bit more complex.
That's so funny.
What a mess.
Oh, good stuff. Right. Good stuff. It's a good sign. Good sign.
Yeah, I like that. All right, when a story doesn't have enough meat on the bone, you just serve it anyway and call it riblets.
It's like you serve it as an appetizer.
That's what Applebee's does. Yeah. So that's what we do here on the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The game director for Baldur's Gate 3 says single-player games are not dead. They just have to be good. I don't know why people.
I think he's throwing shade at the CEOs that are like single-player games are dead. And he's like,
which is
maybe
crazy.
Your games just suck.
I thought we gave up on that refrain at least 2 years ago because that was a big deal. Like the last 5+ years when people were like, oh, it's multiplayer only. And nobody, which is why we didn't get a Star Wars game for 10 years because EA couldn't pull their heads out of their asses because they refused to make any sort of single player.
Well, and their EA, game. That's where their head
and
lives.
Their EA. But this is the thing is that everybody, all these studios saw the money that games like Call of Duty made. And then later Fortnite comes along and they're like, well, shit, I don't want to make single player games. So it's going to be pretty self-fulfilling prophecy to just say, hey, they're dead. I haven't been making them. But Larian Studios founder, Baldur's Gate 3 director Sven Vinkis tweeted, this is the tweet that he said, that time of year again when big single-player games are declared dead. Use your imagination. They're not. They just have to be good.
This is him throwing subtle shade that these people who are saying they're dead are making bad games. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, instead
hilarious
of
and not inaccurate at all.
Yeah.
The Ark DLC trailer was slammed for being made entirely through generative AI. This is a Snail Games USA and Ark Survival, whatever. And now it's Ark Aquatica, which is Ark Survival Evolved and the DLC Ark Aquatica. They used the whole trailer was just like a generative AI showcase, I guess.
Yeah, look, they're not. This is the lowest effort you can put through it. They were like, hey, we just want to showcase Ark Aquatica. What can we do? And they're like, well,
let's not show the game at all.
The design team doesn't work here anymore. So I've been messing with ChatGPT, put together a couple good little sequences of like.
Did you watch this video?
Yeah, very generic looking, like underwater.
Did you see where the guy was like swimming and his feet just kept like turning from flippers into feet and back again?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you pull up the trailer and go to like the 38-second mark and then like watch the guy's feet.
This is great.
It's
like
bad.
The sequences are, oh my gosh, you're right. The sequences are very clearly just AI as well. Like, you know how some of the movements just in AI, you can just kind of tell, and some of the things that are happening, that's what you're seeing in this. Like those AI videos, like this is something I could post online and be like, look, mermaids are real, and there are boomers on my Facebook that would be like, we finally found them. The mermaids are real. They would believe it. Like, that's what this is.
Donald Trump finally found mermaids. Thank God. I mean,
let's get them. Let's get them. Let's enslave them.
Let's get them. Let's make mermaids dead again. Ken Kutagari has a Nintendo PlayStation in his closet. I said that right. Nintendo PlayStation. This was the PlayStation co-creator Ken Kutaragi.
And Nintendo PlayStation? Did I know this was a thing?
Yes, because there was originally a partnership when they were thinking about doing this, when Sony was like working with Nintendo to like potentially do a PlayStation early in the days, early in the PlayStation development days. And the last time we saw one of these was in 2020, and it sold for $300,000 at auction. And from what I saw in this article, it says that 200 were made, 200 units, and it was made in the early 90s, and it was a planned partnership between Sony and Nintendo. Yeah. But yeah, and they looked. I mean, this one that we saw, Ken Kutaragi's, was different than the one we saw that was in that auction in 2020. But his is not yellowed at all. You know, these old consoles that get yellow all the time. His is in like pristine condition.
It looks brand new, early 90s. That's what it looks like.
I did find this very funny from the perspective of like a monetary value, that this guy has basically $500,000 sitting in his closet. In like mint condition.
I would say this thing is priceless. Just to be honest, like you could probably sell it for $500,000, but like this is a priceless gaming artifact.
Exactly.
Really.
And that was the exact thought I had when Trent informed me last weekend that the Pokemon card collection that me, Jackson, and Trent have been building for like 10, 15 years, he priced it out. Just the good cards, not the whole thing, just the good cards. Can you guess what our card collection, which we started in like 2012, before all this hype, and bought a redonkulous amount of cards? Can you guess what it's worth right now?
I would guess not that much, so I might be way off, because I would guess like $1,200 or something.
I need you to go way higher.
10,000.
Way higher.
40,000.
Yup. It's worth $40,000.
Oh my gosh.
We bought so many of these cards because they're from like I said, the era when they weren't that popular. So they weren't printing that many cards. They weren't selling that many cards. But then people go look.
People weren't fighting over them in Sam's Club.
Yes, exactly. So they go look up all these old cards and they're like, wow, that's a really cool old Ponyta card. how do I get it? And it's like, you can't get it because it's like uber rare. They were rare when we were looking for them, and there weren't that many out there. And now there's like none out there. They're just in a bag, in a sack in Trent's closet. But we would never, like you said, they're priceless. We would never, ever sell those things because it's like, and that's the same thing with this guy's Nintendo PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you got to hang on to that. I don't care how bad people want it. That's mine.
You need to keep this thing like in pristine condition. This is again a priceless artifact. This is a thing that was not released. This is like a prototype. There wasn't even a lot of these made, and of these prototype ones, even fewer. Like this is video game history. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, this is dope.
So, yeah.
Spin it.
Dude, it's time for a JD's sales report.
I was lamenting before the episode. I need to put this to music. I keep forgetting. I think it every single time. I keep forgetting. I'll do it one of these days.
We'll get there. The sales report this week is very, very brief. It's all about Assassin's Creed. And guess what? It's doing okay. Ubisoft announced that it crossed 1 million players within the first 24 hours, and then it has already passed 2 million players, and that was faster than both Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey. So, cruising right along.
It's making a good amount of money. It's doing okay. It's being received, I would say, middling reviews, not amazing. But people are enjoying it. But
not a lot of big games out right now. This is a good window to release this.
Yeah. On Steam, let's see, 81% positive. Metacritic score is a little bit worse. But yeah, overall, it's doing okay. There's some bugs to it. Those will get patched out. But honestly, this is what Ubisoft needed. They needed a game to be successful. So 2 million copies is good. Good for them.
Good shot in the arm.
They need a W.
Yeah, or they're just going to get snatched up by the Saudis.
Who will immediately be like, I know how to make this profitable. Shut them down.
Yeah, we're going to lay off everyone.
That's how you make money.
Kudos. Positivity segment. Giving shout outs. Good thing. Kudos. Peterson, what is your kudos for this?
I've got two, so I've got two quick ones. The really quick one is I think you introduced this to me, but Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, of a page called SLC Foodie. I'm sure every city has one of these, but this is a page that just highlights dope restaurants in the valley.
Love that shit. Yeah,
stuff, and they do a good job. The videos are quick. They're quick hits. They obviously good production value, but I get so hungry watching these videos, and I've got a list of like, okay, if I'm in Salt Lake, like if I'm in Taylorsville, if I'm in wherever, like I got to go to this place. I've got a list because some of the places this website highlights, I mean, really showcases how good the food scene in Utah can be. You just have to know how to find it. It's not like you can go to any place and it's amazing. They're out there, and this place highlights it. This site, this page, whatever, highlights them. And sometimes I'll just get stuck watching 4, 5, 6 of these in a row. So there was a pizza one today that I was like, holy crap, I need that in my face right now. So SLC
what
Foodie,
was it?
I wrote it down. I wrote it down upstairs. But I'll go to SLC Foodie and look it up. They had big, huge slices. They had like square slices, regular slices.
Aww.
It's in Salt Lake, so I'll send it to you if I can remember. But yeah, there was a sushi place that blew my freaking mind. Anyway, yeah, this is I love it. I just love the way they do it. Everything looks amazing, and it makes me want to eat food. So SLC Foodie.
Do you want me to do mine, or you can do both?
Do yours and I'll do my other one.
Mine is simple. It's a Fudos for the Reese's Pieces eggs that come out every Easter. They're basically giant Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're the best version of Reese's.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're kind of more like, think about a peanut butter M&M without the chocolate.
Yeah.
But Reese's peanut butter, so it's better. Oh my God,
They're
Jen
just
and
like
I
bigger. They're just like bigger and
are what you
more.
want.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you shell candy like I do,
Oh gosh. Yeah. These are made for that.
perfect. These are so great. I'm gonna buy like 5 bags to get me as far as I can.
He's not talking about Reese's eggs because they do Reese's peanut butter
No,
cup
Reese's
eggs, which are
Pieces
also
eggs.
good because they're like
Oh,
bigger.
yeah.
But Reese's Pieces eggs, this is specifically only at Easter. Like
Mhm.
they don't do other Reese's like because they do the Reese's peanut butter cup. They'll do like a tree for Christmas, and they got like all the different ones. But for Reese's Pieces eggs are only Easter. I don't see that size of Reese's Pieces any other time.
Yeah.
Easter candy has the best candy. Easter has the best candy.
You know, I haven't really thought about that, but I think you're right because it's jelly bean season.
Yep. And everyone that has a
And
jelly bean.
off the chains. Because the thing about Valentine's, yes, there's a lot of Valentine's candy, but it's all shit. Like the
Yeah.
lowest grade crap chocolate,
And
it's
it's all
all about
like
the packaging.
it's all strawberry heart and like and there's
Yeah,
like
and you're
cheap
just buying
chocolate shape of a
fancy
rose.
cardboard, not real good
Yep.
chocolate.
Easter candy is the best candy because they do all the fruity stuff.
Mm.
We've got the jelly candy. They
Mm.
do those stupid marshmallow bunnies. I know not everyone loves the circus peanut type of candy. I love them. And the bunny ones are the best. Man, Easter candy is the best
Easter,
candy.
you're right, dude. Easter's all about the candy, the
Mhm.
holiday.
They have the
I
best
don't even
stuff.
remember what it's actually really about. I think it's just about the candy.
It started with those what are those Cadbury cream eggs? That's what
Oh, they
Easter
were
how
trying to
Easter started.
explain how bunnies laid eggs and gave
Yeah,
birth.
yeah, and then
But now
Cadbury
it's just,
cream
I mean,
egg, and
now
then now it's just all the candy.
people have totally forgotten the spirit of Easter, which is bunnies laying eggs, and now they're all just talking about candy.
Now it's all about
Kids
candy.
these days, dude.
We'll bring Easter back. Make Easter great
Make
again.
Easter about bunny eggs again.
And then I've got one other quick kudos. This is for a TV show. We've talked about it for a second on the Discord page, and actually that's how I decided to start watching it. I'd seen it, but it's a reality show called Extracted. It is a survival game where there's a contestant going out and he just has to survive. Like there's just like this, like, okay, drop them off in the wilderness, and they're like, it's like that episode of The Office where Michael Scott's like, I'm gonna go survive, and he's got nothing, and he goes out there. That's what this show is. They send a dude out there, but the twist is, they have a headquarters, and they have two family members, friends, whatever, who are part of their team. So they all win or no one wins. And the only way the person in the survival scenario can be extracted out of the game is if their family members who are there with them have to push a button to take them out of the game, and they lose. That's the only way. Other people don't vote you out. Your family members have to pull you out. Now the family members, they do all these like little games and competitions and little mind game type of thing to like send them care packages because the people are just out there miserable. There's I'd say most of them are some of the worst survivalists I've ever seen on any of these shows. They're just like, I'm starving and freezing, and I just like, I guess that's all my lot in life. And you're like, well, your shelter is like 2 sticks and a branch, like, and it's raining. Like, what else are you doing today besides just build the shelter? There's like 2 or 3 people who are really good, and the rest of them are like the worst.
Perfect.
But it is kind of interesting with seeing the dynamic. This is season 1, so I think they've got some figuring out to do. But watching the reasons why the family members extract and pull themselves out of the game. One of the dudes, this is a mild spoiler, one of the dudes doing great. The survival guy, crushing it. Just absolutely crushing it. He's like, I want to be out here. I'm having a great time. Like, he's really living life. His
Built
2
himself a
family members, his
mansion.
wife and his brother, back at the HQ, like, they sleep in beds. They gotta, they get food regularly. Like, They like, I can't handle the mental aspects of this game. People are cutthroat. I can't handle it. And they extract him, and he is pissed. He is like furious, and he's like, I don't understand why. And he gets back, and normally like the survival person was like crying and like, that was so hard. No, he was like, what's going on? I was doing great. And they're crying and like, I can't handle this. It's people are making bad decisions and I can't handle that's not who I am. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in any sort of reality show. It was like such a reversal. Anyway, Extracted. I think I'm watching it on Hulu, or I don't know where I'm watching it. There's too many streaming services. I think it's on Hulu. But it's good. It's a fun reality show, kind of scratch that itch of like watching people mess with each other. So check it out.
Say the name one more time. Extracted. On a streaming service, one of them.
It's probably on Hulu. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one I use the most.
Rundown.
All right, our rundown is like this thing where we talk about a game.
We just run it on down to
run down the game.
There's not really a set. I don't think it's been determined exactly how we do this, but
we can't define the rundown, but we know it when we see it.
Yeah. I just keep talking until I feel like I have met the requirements of a rundown.
Yeah, exactly. And this week, Peterson has for us a rundown of a new game that is pretty hot for me because of the concept. 33 Immortals, a game that allows you to play with 32 allies together. Resembles old school dungeon raids. I actually talked about this on X96 a couple weeks back, so I'm excited to hear what your thoughts were on it.
Okay, so 33 Immortals, like JD said, you're doing these big maps with 32 other people, and you can party up. You cannot party up with 32 other people, but you can have a party of 4, and then you join these. Okay, so the game is centered around Dante's Inferno. Mm-hmm. Like that's the whole premise of it. You're in purgatory and you're fighting your way out of hell. You're fighting the devil and demons and all these things. It plays a lot like Hades, that type of game, where you have a weapon. This one's a little bit different because you have a weapon that has a set move set. There are right now, it's early access, so right now there are 4 different weapons. There is a bow, which you shoot out arrows, and then you recall them, and they like come back to you and do damage on their way back. There is a big sword that swings kind of slow, but it stuns guys. There is these daggers that's more like dash around, quick hits.
Wait, I'm sorry. These are different weapons or different like classes?
Weapons. So you choose a weapon and you get those abilities. So your guy doesn't have set his own abilities. It is your whatever weapon you select.
Interesting. Okay.
And then there's like a wand. They like cast spells. That's my least favorite one, but it's got its benefits. Each of them has like a power move that it does something where it stuns someone. It stuns the enemy or it slows the enemy. And then each weapon also has a co-op move where there's this little bar buildup. If you're watching, it's on the bottom left. It's that circle that's kind of slowly filling.
Sure.
Once that's full, you can do a co-op move. So you cast something on the ground and either one other person or 2 other people have to join in. And it does like a big attack or a huge area of effect slow, like it has some sort of massive effect. As you're going through the world, killing these creatures that are around. One of the things that I like this game really leans into the teamwork and co-op aspect. You have to play together. You do so much more damage when you're attacking the same enemy than if you're just. It's hard to kill. Like even the basic minions, kind of hard to kill them on your own.
But there's 31 or 32 other people playing with you.
If you and one other guy, even one other person, are attacking him together, your attacks stack, and it like stacks the crit damage, and you just start melting guys. And so really you have to be like attacking the same thing as other people are to really do any easy, quick damage to it. When you kill creatures, if you have done any damage to it, when it dies, it drops like these little orbs that fills up. If you're looking on the bottom right, that circle with like the purple stuff in it that's filling up.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's full, that's how you like one of the ways you level up your character in each dungeon.
Oh.
So then you can use that, go to an altar and like give up that stuff, and you can bump up your health or your damage or something like that. As you go through, so as you go through this level, it'll be the level with 32 other people. Periodically, these they're called torture chambers will open up, and that's what you're watching right now. It's like a mini, it's a level within the level, like a mini boss level.
Mm-hmm.
You'll fight a bunch of guys, and then some mini bosses will appear once you beat them. This is how you upgrade your stats. This is how you upgrade your skills within each run as well. So there's 2 chests up top. Once you beat it, you can open those chests and you get like other games would call it like a relic, where it's like you get this thing and now it makes your attacks faster, or it makes them susceptible to damage once you're hitting them, something like that. So it kind of buffs some sort of ability or stat or something like that. So the only way to get them is by doing these torture chambers. Once enough torture chambers have been completed, only 6 people at a time can do a torture chamber. So you're kind of like people rushing to them when they open up.
What happens to the rest of the people on the map?
So they're still running around the map, and there'll be like 4 torture chambers that'll open up every time they open up. Because once 12 of them have been completed, I think, then it goes into the Ascension battle. And it's this on the map. It's a circle that where just tons of guys will pop in, and then some mini bosses, and you have to beat them. And once you beat them, you can ascend, and that's where you get to the final boss, which is Satan.
When you say you, that's everybody?
You and whoever has in that. There's 3 ascension circles on the map. And this is where my biggest nit with the game will come in. There's 3 ascension circles. So you want to go to a circle with other people, with a lot of other people. Because what will happen is I'll be on a circle with 14 other people, and we'll just smash through it, just crush it. Yeah. And then we go to ascend. Well, you have to wait for everyone to either die or ascend. Some people are, you can tell that they're probably newer at the game, because they'll be in an ascension battle, this circle that will slowly start closing over time. And then you eventually die. If you don't beat it fast enough. 2-3 people will be doing one, and everyone else just has to sit there and wait for them. And sometimes you're just sitting there and waiting for 2-3 minutes, just watching them, and they're gonna lose. They know they're gonna lose. Like,
that sucks.
You're not gonna beat it. And then once you die, you can revive guys when they die. Once you die, you come back. If you get revived, you come back, but with a much smaller health bar. You've got like blocks put on your health bar. So like where you had 100 health before, you will have 23. Like you've got and then once you die, if you die again, then you're just out of the run.
Mm-hmm.
So not everyone makes it to the final boss. And obviously the more people who make it to the final boss, the better. If like 12 people make it to the final boss, you're not going to beat them. I've only
you just know right away.
Like, yeah. And so you're just trying to get as far as you can in the final boss, because like you have to kill him 8 times to beat him, essentially, like put his health bar down 8 times. If you've got 23 people in there, you'll win. If you've got 13, you will not. But the more times you deplete his health bar, the better rewards you get at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where like the roguelike aspect of it comes in. So you have like a currency at the end where you've earned stuff, and you can level up the weapons, you can level up some abilities, you can level up your character, so he's got more passives and stuff like that. So once you die, you kind of go back and you're like, okay, now I'm going to use all this stuff to level up. So my biggest nit is though you're watching. So when someone dies, you're watching this ascension battle with 3 people in it. You know they're not going to win. All you have to do is you're sitting there watching it, and then they die.
You can't like run around farming mobs or anything. You just stand there.
No, you've already ascended. You're like out of the board. You're not on the level anymore, and so you're just watching them, waiting for how many people are going to ascend to fight to fight Satan at the end, and once they die, so they've taken like 2-3 minutes to die. Once they die, then there's the timer. There's a 30-second death timer. So you are sitting there just watching them. They can't be revived. There's no one there to revive them. And so you just have to sit there and wait. And that is the only time the game slows down. When you're with a crew too, that's the other piece. When you're with like friends, when you're partnered up, if I die, I have to wait for them to die. I have to sit there and watch them till they die.
Dude, that's that fits so perfectly because wasn't the whole concept of this game was to capture the old school like big 40-man MMORPG raids?
Yep.
And so much of what you're describing sounds like the frustrations and the pain points of those raids
have to watch
without having to drop 40 hours a week into the game.
No. Yeah.
Because these are just like, what are the 25-minute matches?
They can go a little long. I would say they can go 30-ish minutes if you like beat Satan. But you're active the whole time. You're like doing stuff. You're fighting. You're zipping around. Now, okay. So this game, I got on Game Pass. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've gone in and played by myself.
Would you buy this if they took it off Game Pass to keep playing it?
I would buy this for a small amount, and here's why. It is early access. Right, I don't know. That's a good question. You should go look.
I think it's on my list.
It is early access, and so you can tell there's more that they have to do and unlock. There's more they're going to unlock. Like I said, there's slots in the world for 4 more weapons that just don't exist yet. And so there is a lot of content I think that they will release. There's a whole level that is it's like on the selection screen, it's like unavailable at this time. Like you can't go there yet. So there's a lot of content still TBD. So I wouldn't spend a lot of money on this game because it is, like I said, there's only 4 weapons. There's not a ton of variability between each playthrough. In fact, it's very, 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 very similar. Even if you're doing the different weapons, it's the same bad guys. It's the same levels. And so there's not a ton of variability.
It's $20.
I think that's the right price. If I'm being 100% honest, that's the right price.
Dude, I might buy it.
It's fun. I'm having a good time with it. I could see myself bouncing off of it in 20 more hours. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put 200 hours into this game. But right now I'm having a great time with it. I'm really enjoying it. I play 1 or 2 rounds a day just to kind of get through. They do the thing which I know not everyone loves, but I love. They give you daily missions, which I think is important for like replayability and like making me want to jump in and play again. And you don't have to do them. There's not like a battle pass or anything like that. You don't have to do the daily missions, but it does give you like something to work towards, a reason to use some of the other weapons that are maybe not your favorite, maybe that you haven't leveled up as much. So, this game is good. And I could see it being really fun once they've released all the content. So I'm enjoying it. 33 Immortals. I would recommend checking it out. $20 is a good price for it. Game Pass, of course, if you have Game Pass, you should just download it and play it. My buddies are playing with a mouse and keyboard. I think controller is the way to go on this. I've been playing with a controller, which I don't play with controller a lot, but
it must need it.
This is the exact type of game that I use a controller for. I use a controller when I play Hades. It just feels better because there's not like a million buttons that you're pushing. And so having those 4 buttons to use is perfect. So 33 Immortals, I would recommend it. Go check it out.
Dude, I dig that. I was so hyped on it when I came across it for X96, and I was hoping it'd be good when I like read about it. But yeah, I wasn't gonna do anything but put it on a wish list. So
yeah, my
I'm
only
so
nit
glad
is
you
that
checked it
small
out.
little nit of just like waiting. You gotta sit and wait for people are gonna die.
But for me, that might be kind of fun, just to be not fun necessarily, but like I like a little bit of a break in games like that. Like even in
that's
League of
true.
Legends, after I died, I didn't mind having a minute to like collect myself, look at the store for a second, and like watch the team, and then I have 30 seconds to figure out shit.
The Satan boss fight is hard too. Like once you figure it out, once everyone has figured it out, then it's much easier. But the first few times you do it, you are gonna die so fast. Like it's pretty tough. Pretty unforgiving. You have to all like I said, you have to work together. You cannot just do your own thing. You will lose the fight. So it's good that way. So 33 Immortals.
Sweet.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny. This game we play at the end of every episode. We get a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres on it. We roll that to decide what we're going to be playing next. Peterson, last week he rolled, 2 weeks ago. Wait, last week. He rolled a game with excessive blood and gore for $40 or less. Peterson, what did you pick? I feel like you haven't talked to me at all.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. When we put that on the board, that was a category in Steam. It is no longer a category that I could find in Steam, but gore is a category. So I stuck with gore. And was having a tough time because all the games were like horror games, and I didn't want to play a horror game. I was like, not in the mood. Some of them looked decent, but I was like, I don't want to play that right now.
Yeah, I just want gore without the horror. I just want to see people's guts spilling everywhere.
There was a couple that I was like, if another time, I would absolutely play this game. But I bought a game that I've been eyeing for a long time. That is exactly the type of game that I play with my crew. And it was remastered and re-released. And so I went in and bought Dying Light 1. There's a Dying Light 2 out there, but Dying Light 1 is kind of there's kind of a remastered version of it. And I wouldn't say much has changed on it, but this is a co-op zombie survival horror game. Like I said, just the type of game that I play. I played like 7 Days to Die.
Yeah, this is kind of right up your alley.
It looks like that. It looks maybe a little bit more, I would say, gory than like a 7 Days to Die.
Which is great because that fits the bill.
So this is what I bought it. I'm gonna play it. I have at least one other guy on board to play with me right now, and I think the biggest selling point is because I've had it on my wish list, but it is on sale right now for 70% off. So it is $9. It's normally
that's great because then if it sucks, it's like you're not out that much.
Normally $30. I don't know if I would play this for $30, but $9, it's a no-brainer for me. So I'm gonna play some Dying Light, some zombie survival horror co-op, and see what I can do.
Cool, dude. All right, so Peterson will have a review for us. Hopefully,
I just have to stop playing 33 Immortal, and we got back into Sea of Thieves because there's some new stuff, and we've had a couple real rough nights, but I've thought it was hilarious.
Have they made significant updates into that game since you played last?
Yeah, there's like new weapons.
They're still doing that, huh?
So much stuff, new guilds. Yeah, that's what kind of jumped us back in. And they just keep breathing life into it, and we got in, and it was just as fun as when we played it before. So, anyway, so I will play some Dying Light for you and have a review next week.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for jumping in to hang out with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Abby and Patrick for jumping on the YouTube stream. Guys, we're always streaming on YouTube basically every episode, either Sunday or Monday nights.
It's a crapshoot. You never know when. So
you
just
got to
keep
subscribe.
both of those nights locked up, just so
Tell people
just
you're
save it for
busy.
this.
Yeah. Like,
Don't
you
schedule
book that out on your
anything.
calendar, and you're there. And if we don't show up on Sunday, you'll know we'll be there Monday.
We'll be there Monday. Yeah, we have to. So.
All right, to play us out, we've got some music from 33 Immortals.
It has a very Diablo feel.
Oh. Fuck yeah. This is the music you get to listen to? Oh, I'm in. I was in before, but now I'm definitely in. Is there like pretty dope boss music and stuff too when you start fighting?
You'll hear it. It just like suddenly changes to the boss music in a second, I think. So, but anyways, this is what it's like. This is just kind of what it's never like a beat to it. It's just kind of like this most of the time.
It's just tones. It's
yeah.
not
Remember
music.
Dante's Inferno. You're in hell. So
you're just down there burning. All right. Well, I'm JD logging off.
And this is Peterson going AFK.
Go to hell.